everyone, and welcome to The Experts. I'm Dr. Janelle Kim, and I'm here with the one and only, as they say, Kenny Santucci. Before we begin, I want to tell you a little bit about him. Basically, I am so excited to have you here because you really are a true force in the wellness and strength, like industry, world. We just had an awesome conversation, and I'm sure we will just in this 5 minutes of connecting, but I want to understand more. So you are currently a prominent figure in the health and wellness industry, as I said. You're recognized for your multifaceted career as a fitness expert, an entrepreneur, and a media personality. That's right. Originating from Newark, New Jersey, Kenny's journey into fitness began during his high school years as a district champion wrestler at St. Peter's Preparatory High School, followed by his attendance at Montclair State University. Kenny first gained national attention through his participation in MTV's reality series, The Challenge. I miss our old school MTV. I forget about this.
Yeah, no shit.
Where he showcased his competitive spirit and physical prowess. Transitioning from reality TV, he dedicated himself to the fitness industry, establishing himself as one of New York's top trainers and a thought leader in health and wellness. He's the founder of Strong New York, a one-of-a-kind event that brings together the brightest minds in wellness, fitness, and self-development. In addition to his entrepreneurial endeavors, Kenny is also the founder of The Strength Club, a private training facility in New York City. So, what is his mission? To help people feel strong, not just in their bodies, but in their lives. He's also the host of Strong AF podcast, where he dives deep into conversations that inspire strength, authenticity, and growth. From his roots in New Jersey to becoming one of New York City's most recognized fitness experts, Kenny's journey is nothing short of powerful. After transforming his own health as a teenager, which I can't wait to hear more about, he dedicated his life to helping others do the same through movement, mindset, and meaningful community. Another 3 M's. Kenny leads with heart, grit, and purpose, and I can't wait to dive into your story.
Well,
so
that
there
was
we
great.
have it. Yeah,
that was great.
It's like a newscast
session. I never heard it put all together like that.
Really? Okay, good.
Yeah,
I'm so happy that I made you happy and proud.
I was like, wow, I kind of have done some things.
Yeah.
I always look back and I'm like, I just turned 42 on Sunday.
Oh, yes, I know. You're in Aries.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, I'm like, what the hell have I done with the last 40 years?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you've done a lot. And it's important to stop and think about that. So I'm so glad that like right around the time of your birth, I'm also 42.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, nice.
82?
83?
82. See, I'm almost 43.
Okay. So
But
I'm 83.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What is that in like Chinese astrology? Do you know?
I don't know. I
okay.
don't know what it
I'll think about that. I shouldn't ask.
I actually looked it up once before.
I know it. I'm in the year of the dog, 1982. So you're not the rooster. You're the one below. You might be a pig.
Really?
Yeah, which is good.
That's fitting.
I feel like is it weird to like take a break and go look? It's super weird. I'm not going to do that.
No, totally.
I'm definitely not going to do that.
Google
I don't know if someone can Google real quickly.
Yeah.
Is this a thing?
It was
like
1983.
Jake? What's 1983? We can continue.
I wish it was something cooler. Like this year's the year of the dragon, right?
No, last year was the year of dragon.
Yeah.
That is not an easy year. I'm right. Look at that, guys.
That's pretty good.
You know, I do come from all the East Asian things.
And
so.
what's the
Jake,
symbolism?
don't stop now. Tell me more.
Well, what's the symbolism behind the pig?
So I know a lot about the dog because I am one.
Yeah.
It's like loyal and fair. The pig, the pig I don't know as much about. I know about the rooster. Jake, what does it say?
It says the people of the year of the pig are known to be kind,
there you
generous, and compassionate with a strong sense of peace.
There you
wow.
go. There you go.
Okay.
I knew it was like softer, because oftentimes you hear that you're this or like the rat and people but actually it's great characteristics. So there you go.
I love that. I'll take that. I'll take the year of the pig all day.
Compassionate.
Yeah. Not that I had a choice in it, but I'll take it.
No, you didn't. Not in that. But yes, on that note, before we even begin, I'd love to hear the path, which I kind of already touched on. Like, how did you get here? How did you get here, Kenny? Like, what kind of kid were you? What kind of family did you come from? Because I think I already like it.
Yeah.
In my humble experience and opinion. Traditional, close.
Traditional, close family.
Yeah.
Italian, a lot of family around all the time.
Yeah.
My dad would always say, we don't have a lot, but we have family.
Love that.
Yeah. So, and I kind of thought that was really important because he would always point out examples of other people who had money.
Right.
Like other families we were friends with, and they had a lot of issues when it came to the kids doing drugs or like the parents were divorced or whatever it was. And my dad was very good at like keeping us all together. So we did everything together. Me and my brothers played sports together and we always hung out together.
How many brothers?
I have 2 brothers and a sister. I'm probably the closest with my sister now, but we're all pretty tight.
Yeah.
It's like sacrilegious. It's almost like a sin in my family to miss one of their kids' birthdays or
Totally.
So I'm always home. And part of the reason why I just built the gym in New Jersey was so I could be home more. So I put a gym in New Jersey about 6 months ago now, right in the town my sister lives in.
Oh, smart.
And it's 5 minutes from my mom's house and like 8 minutes from my brother's house.
Yeah.
So I get to see my family a lot now, which is great.
Love that.
But I grew up very heavy. I was the only person in my family that was like severely overweight to the point where my doctor told my parents at the time, they were like, you have to put him on some sort of diet or something.
Yeah.
Like he has to lose weight. I remember going from like 5th to 6th grade, I had gained 25 pounds in a year, which was like kind of unheard of at the time.
Yeah.
It was like,
may I ask what was happening? Because that's not super, did they ever say anything or were they trying to say something? Better question.
My grandmother was just one of these old Italian ladies who just loved to cook. Like my grandmother I've never seen her out of a nightgown. Like she's one of these old Italian women who only wore a nightgown all the time. And she would just cook and clean and that's it. She never got a driver's license. She rarely left the house. And she had 11 grandkids amongst all of us.
Yeah, that'll do it. I'd stay in a nightgown all day too.
Yeah, and that's all she did was take care of me.
100%, actually.
And that was like her joy. Like she loved that.
Yes.
At least she seemed like she did. She was always singing and dancing and stuff. So I'd go over there a lot and she'd always be like, oh, Kenny's so good at cleaning up his plate and everybody else's. So I thought it was a good thing.
Yeah.
I remember there was a couple times that stick out in my head where I was telling this story at the gym the other day. I was in 4th or 5th grade, and a family friend of ours had a birthday party and they ordered like 5 pizzas and I ate like one whole one myself.
Yeah.
And the parents were like, you ate a whole pizza? And I was like so embarrassed and felt so bad. And I always ate like that. I always just had a huge appetite. I still do kind of, but I control it a little bit more. But yeah, I just grew up heavy and I never understood why. And I just wanted to learn more about it. And when I started to lose weight, the way I looked at myself and the way other people treated me was completely different. And the way I felt overall.
Yeah.
There are times now, if I eat fried food, because I rarely eat it, and I eat sugary things, I'm slow, I'm lethargic, my brain's not as sharp.
Of course.
So I tell people if that's what's happening on a small level when I have it infrequently, what's happening to your body and your brain when you're doing it all the time?
Absolutely. So in Eastern medicine, that's dampness. Now we could have like a year's worth of shows on even talking about just dampness and what that means. And we're not going to do that. But dampness is like one of the pathogens that creates stagnation and has your digestive function not work properly. And so there's not a lot of foods in general in Eastern medicine and what I speak on and teach that like you don't eat except fried is one of them. Fried fatty, which, go figure.
Yeah.
Because it slows everything down.
Yeah. And now what is it exactly doing?
It basically puts let's the first thing that comes to me, and I don't know if I've ever explained it this way, like puts pressure, it makes the digestive the middle not function properly, right? So dampness in general, like in our environment, can make us sick, right? Having a cough, cold in our lungs. Dampness is actually, here's another way of understanding it. Like we think of in general, these are generalizations, but like, Florida can be a real, by nature, like feng shui, damp. And so by nature, things run a little slower, I mean, that's another way of understanding, but that's damp makes things slow down. Like they don't function at their optimum, mind, body.
One of the best ways I've heard some of this stuff put is when you put alcohol in your body. It's a poison in your body. So your body needs to triage that first and get rid of that. So anything else that you're putting in your body now isn't getting digested the right way.
Alcohol is damp heat.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I mean, it makes perfect sense. And when you start to look at it, the fact that we all did it for so long. I mean, we come from a generation where going out, partying, drinking, and then going to a diner
and never
at night.
Drinking water. I laugh. My boys were like, where is your water bottle? I have 85 water bottles. If they're not carrying a water bottle, I'm like, there's very few things that stress me out, but that could probably, maybe not stress me out, but I'm like, you need water. Yeah. We never drink water.
How old are your kids?
They're going to be 8 and 12 like next month.
So they're right around the same age. So
Yeah.
in my gym in New Jersey, I teach a lot of kids classes.
Okay.
And at first I was like kind of giving them like the Capri Suns and stuff
Yes.
like after workouts. I'm so happy that a lot of the parents
Yeah.
are like, oh, no, we don't let them have that. They
Right.
just drink water with electrolytes and
Yes,
stuff. And I'm like,
100%.
great, that's good. I was like, I have
Yeah,
plenty
that's
of
like
that
our
shit.
house. I was like, what would you guys like, water or water? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. What would you like? Sparkling water is
Yeah.
like the big,
I agree.
everything in balance too. I really, really do believe in that. But it's like a thing. Did you look at the Capri Sun? How much sugar is in there?
Oh my God, it's horrible. But I mean, I was one of these
Yes.
kids who I'd suck down like 4 of
Totally.
them at a time.
Uh-huh.
So I remember one of the first things that I had given up when I started to lose weight or went on my fitness journey. I was 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
And I remember I got a muscular development magazine from this grocery store over by my high school. And there was a picture. I forget who it was. I think it was like Lee Priest or somebody. It was like one of the bodybuilders. And he was crushing a bottle of soda.
Yeah.
And he's like, you should never drink soda. It's the worst thing for you. There's no nutritional value in it. And I was like, okay, I guess I could cut out soda. And I just cold turkey stopped
love that.
drinking soda. And I lost like 10 pounds
Absolutely.
right away.
Have you ever seen the picture where they show the amount of sugar? I showed my boys.
Yeah.
I was like, let me just show you how much sugar is in. If you haven't done this, you need to look this up. And it shows you like the pile of sugar.
No, there's a guy on the internet who
that's
does
in
that.
a can.
He'll put
You're
it
like,
in
oh my
cubes.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
But here's my thing.
But we don't always know. Yeah.
There are so many fitness professionals, guys who are like bodybuilding experts or whoever, are always like, oh, it's okay. It's not as bad for you. It doesn't cause cancer. But it's not. You're still putting something into your body that you really don't need. If you want to indulge every once in a while, fine. But don't make it okay for people to drink this, especially kids.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's not meant to be put in our body. It's a bunch of chemical. Like, at the end of the day, you can't source it from the earth.
Yeah.
Where are you getting this shit from? You're
Right.
chemically making this shit up and throwing it in a bottle, and then you're drinking it.
And it's absolutely becomes addicting to
Yeah.
the human mind.
Yeah.
And in Eastern medicine, that's the thing too. Like, again, all harming the muscle, the middle, not muscle, but of course
Yeah.
muscle, but the middle, like.
But it
area.
definitely does slow your brain functionality
Absolutely.
down, for sure. So I tell people, listen, I'm not telling you what to do.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you the guidelines. We just did a 8-week challenge at my gym, and I had Dr. Rachel Shear come on. And she's more like nutritionist, medicine, not so much medicine, but like nutrition and dietary kind of guidance. And basically what she was saying is pretty much what everybody has been saying over the past couple months. And everybody's like, well, I need a diet. I need a plan to follow. You know what to eat. Most people know what to eat. They just don't want to do it because the discipline is too hard. But if you were like, hey, I want to really get in really great shape, what do I eat? Okay, egg whites, grilled chicken.
Right.
You know.
But it's habits.
Yeah.
Like I say, people will say, well, in general, Janelle, how do you eat? Of course, because I'm out there teaching all the things. And then it made me stop to really think about it. And in general, I eat very healthy, but I eat. I'm Korean. Like the Koreans and the Italians were similar in many ways, right? Like this, I've heard this growing up with all my Italian people.
No, but it's heavy on the rice. It's
all
heavy
the
on
things.
yes. Any starch.
But then you just teach yourself, like at this point in my life, I'm certain you're the same. We just created certain habits where I don't eat tons of sugar naturally. I don't eat all the pasta on the plate. I just don't even want it, but I eat whatever I want.
Last night for my birthday, a bunch of us went out to dinner, and there was French fries on the table, and it's one of my weaknesses, so I had a couple. But then when the cake came out, I'm like, I won't even think about touching it. Because I've given it up for so long that I don't even crave it. And I know if I have it, it's going to be.
Yeah, our brain's like, what was that?
Yeah, I need more of that.
Give me some more.
So I just don't even touch it. So rather, it's easier to be all out than 90% it, or 90% out.
Right.
So I'd rather be all out, not even touch it, and I'm better off with it.
And you said the word discipline. I love that word. Coming from my lineage in the martial arts, and we had a moment to discuss this, but it really is self-discipline is the training of the mind.
I think that's what's missing from society today. Nobody has any discipline.
I agree.
Nobody takes any responsibility for what happens in their life, or it's sad. It's sad that no one takes any ownership of what they do.
Yeah.
anymore.
You could ask my Jackson right now. He's my 7-year-old turning 8. I said, Jackson, what happens when you point your finger? How many are pointing back at you? Because that's how my father raised me. 3, mommy. I'm like, done.
Yeah.
So let's all remember that. How many are pointing back at you? And
totally
that's
agree.
key number 1 of the 8 keys of living meditation, which is know yourself. Like it all has to come back to you.
Every situation that happens at the gym, with my business, I'm like, what could I have done to tighten this up?
Yeah, reflection.
Yeah, all the time. I'm always like, okay, I could have done that better. What could I do right now to solve this problem? How could I help them execute better?
Yeah.
What didn't I explain enough?
Love that.
Yeah.
That connection. So, okay, how did you start your first, like, how did the gym start? Thank you so much for tuning in to The Experts. I'm Dr. Janelle Kim. I'm so grateful for you being here, listening to these amazing experts. The intention behind this episode is to bring you the knowledge, the wisdom, the experience of the expert and the source to make things that much less overwhelming. And as a special thank you, I'd love to offer you a discount of 15% off on anything you can find on my website. I've created some amazing formulations for incredible brands carried all over the globe, found in Credo, Sephora, Ritz-Carlton, Whole Foods, you name it. And I have come out with a couple of hero products, if you will, because people have been asking for some decades. And so it's a muscle and joint product, some amazing face products where I combine the secret formulas and passed down my lineage with the best of the modern anti-aging ingredients. So for anyone that is interested, please use code DJK15 and you can help yourself to any of the products that you think will be effective in your life, as well as any of the courses, Qigong and breathwork.
Well, when I was on television, I was trying to find different
Yeah, we should
ways.
probably go there first. Wait a second. How did you get on MTV, The Challenge?
I just went for an open casting call.
I love that.
I was
Okay.
dating a girl at the time and we went to an open casting call, and one thing led to another, and a year to the day later I was on television.
Look at that.
But more important than the
Yeah.
being on television was what I fell in love with while I was doing it. Like all through high school and college, I got obsessed with working out and exercise and wrestling and, you know, cutting weight. The goal wasn't for me to lose weight. Like I always wanted to be in better shape, but to be a better wrestler, I was like, oh, I have to cut down a little bit to wrestle. So I got to do all these things that I need to cut weight for. So I started eating tuna fish out of the can and teaching myself these things I was reading in magazines because there was nobody on the internet doing it.
Yeah.
This was 1996, 97, 98, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So for me, when I got on television, I was like, all right, I'm going to be on television. I better be in the best shape of my life. So I started to like seek out different trainers and people to help me learn different ways to train.
Right.
And I fell in love with the process. I remember and there wasn't as much knowledge out there as there is today, right? It's everywhere. It's YouTube, it's Instagram.
Yeah, so that's why we have the show. I'm not joking, because everyone is constantly so overwhelmed and they don't know which way to turn. And then like I'm writing these articles of how to debunk all the TikTok things. Like, okay, this is enough.
Yeah, people
That's why
will
we're the
say
experts.
the most outlandish shit.
Unbelievable. But
Yeah, and
even
people
more
will believe
outlandish
it.
is everyone else
Yeah.
starts to do it. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's almost like there's always like a new exercise. Like, oh, did you see that? I'm like, yeah, that's been around forever.
that's what I say.
Yeah.
I mean, ancient medicine movement, guys, we're talking about like 10,000
Yeah,
years. Do
no
you
one's
understand?
discovered anything new. you
And
know?
if you have, I'd be a little like in the East Asian practices, which you studied. We haven't touched on that yet. Like you have a teacher, you have a line. I come from a lineage. Like that is, I feel actually compelled to teach people this right now, or to at least, you know, have people understand this, that in our ancient cultures, you find like the teacher, you find the source.
Yeah. Well, what I love about a lot of the
Or someone
Eastern,
who's done a lifetime of it.
Eastern medicine and martial arts, I'm a big acupuncture guy.
Yeah.
I know you practice, right?
Well, I know how to do it.
Okay. So I love it. And my acupuncturist, if he was $500 an hour, I would pay him.
Yeah.
I love him.
You found
He's
a good
great.
one.
He's amazing. And anytime I preach about acupuncture, there's a lot of people, oh, it's placebo effect. It's bullshit. I go, if it was bullshit,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have lasted thousands
Thank
of
you.
years.
I mean, yes, my whole life is people saying this to me. I mean, I started in the beauty wellness 20 plus years ago, not to get into it too deep, but everyone, you know, you talk about natural products. You talk about, you know, plant medicine, herbs, any kind of like Korean beauty. And they're like, oh, that's really, no, I don't understand. And I'm like, all right, It's okay. Did not ruffle my feathers though. I'm like, no, I just have to communicate this better. But
think about something that pops up
Yeah.
within the last 10 years. If it's bullshit, it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yes.
it's gone
But that's my
in
favorite
months.
thing.
Yeah.
It's here because it works.
Yes,
Period.
I agree. I 100% agree.
For thousands of years, people. Thousands. Okay.
And it's the same thing with like martial arts and stuff.
Yes.
People have been fighting like this for thousands of years.
Yes.
And they're only developing the skill more and more because more people are doing it.
Right.
But at the same time, it works.
Yes.
You know,
And now people are understanding that it's actually like the Taoist, the original martial artists, the Taoist immortals, the original biohackers. It's like it's a whole thing. I come from a lineage of Taoists, so
I love it.
you know, right. But that's what they started Qigong, which is one of the very first in martial arts. That's like where everything came from, literally 10,000 plus years ago. And it was to have longevity. It was to cultivate. I say we look to have health, beauty, wellness, longevity. They sought out to be, they were immortal. They didn't want to die. All right. And
Makes
here we are
perfect sense.
like, I just want to live until I'm.
Perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know, as much as we think we evolved, as soon as things get rough, we resort back to being animals.
Of course.
We watched it happen during COVID.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very simple to see how primitive we actually are.
Absolutely. And when we had in our couple of moments where we were able to connect before sitting down for our interview, you actually brought up, speaking of COVID, but connection, like how important that is. You know, connection of mind, body, spirit within ourselves and connection of each other. And that sounds like kind of going back to what you were saying, you loved learning these things. And so I feel like where you were leading with that is you wanted to share that and connect with people and show them how, hence how you started your.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What I realized was I go, okay, I did this for myself and I feel so much better because of it. Well, I know a lot of fat people.
Yeah.
So I could help them
Yeah.
feel so much better.
Right.
And that's what I wanted to do. And it started with like friends and family. One of my first clients was a buddy of mine in college. We wrestled together in high school. We were the same weight in high school. We got to college and he was 2 weight classes above me.
Yeah.
Then he went to law school, gained a ton of weight, lost his hair, was getting married.
It's the whole thing. I know.
Yeah. And we were like 23, 24 at the time. And he goes like, Ken, I don't know how you stay in shape. What are you doing? Help me out. So we went to the park and we did some sprints and we did like push-ups and things like that. And I go, dude, we'll come here 2-3 days a week and let's do this.
Love that.
Because he didn't want to go to the gym. He's like, I don't have time. He was in law school, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's still pretty heavy, but he's better than what he was. And that was the first time somebody was like, I need you to help me do what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then my family, I would preach them and preach them and preach them. I'm like, this is so good for you. You got to do it.
Oh, that's the hardest.
Eat
Your family's
like
your hardest.
Oh my God.
It's known.
But
Yeah.
my gym in New Jersey, my mom's there every day.
Yeah.
She's probably there right now.
I love that.
My mom, my
Yeah.
sister, my brother-in-law, my niece and nephews, my cousin. I've been trying to get my cousin to lose weight. I mean, she's had 2 gastric bypass surgeries.
Yeah.
Her and her husband. Her kids are overweight. So, and she's another one who's like, help me, help me. I'm like, you're not willing to help yourself.
Yeah.
I could help you. I could
Yeah.
give you, send me a diet. Okay. I could
Yeah.
send you exactly what to do. You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, send me a workout. Okay. I could send you the best workout in the world written by every guru I could think of.
Right.
It's still, you're still not doing it.
Right.
Right. It's not placebo. It's not a osmosis. You're not going to
Yeah.
put it to your
Yeah.
head and it's just going to
I can bring
happen.
you the food, but you have to eat it.
Exactly.
But it's the truth.
So, and she'd always tell me for the longest time, she's like, oh, I'm doing what I have to do. I'm eating this and I'm eating that. And I go, you're also eating everything else because to maintain, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, to maintain 200-300 pounds, you know, being 60, 70 pounds overweight,
Yeah.
you have to maintain that size. That means you're eating enough calories to maintain that.
Right.
So when people are like, oh, I'm not eating as much, I'm like, yeah, you are because
Yeah.
you're maintaining your size.
Yeah.
Because if I were to reduce the calories that you're eating, you would lose weight.
Right. Right.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. And it's the habit thing. I think it's so important in anything in life, whether it's, you know, people who have anger problems, it's just coming, right? Or, you know, want to change their diet. It is all about habits. But oftentimes my favorite thing to acknowledge is, you know, we set ourselves up like from now on, I'm not going to do that. Well, that's good luck. Because if you could do that, you would have already done it. Like in the next hour.
Yeah. And why
know?
I'm a little more sympathetic
Yeah.
towards obesity, because I'll
Yes.
drop saying people are fat bastards and stuff like that. And people are like, get so offended. I go, I was there. I was it. I understand what it feels like. And I'm very harsh on people because in my opinion, it's probably the hardest one to deal with because you don't need drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
You choose drugs and alcohol for some level of acceptance or whatever it may be is why you started. But drugs and alcohol aren't a necessity to life.
Yeah.
But food is.
Right.
So people start eating and they continue to eat and they eat too much.
Right.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a little bit more sympathetic towards that than
Of course.
other things.
Yeah. And there's, I mean, again, we can have maybe another time that we discuss this, but in the ancient medicine, there's many, many reasons for why, you can have an imbalance. It's an imbalance somewhere, and not just in your mind. It literally is in your organ systems and your constitution, and so much is involved.
Well, I mean, I saw it right away when I got on TRT. My testosterone was all messed up.
Yeah.
I have a cyst on my pituitary gland that I deal with, which messed up my thyroid as well. And as soon as I started to regulate that, I started to look better.
When did you find out about this? Did you know this was going to become like a
No, 3 years ago.
Okay.
3 years ago, I was having some severe back pain. And this is why I preach about it and I tell my story all the time is because I know there's other people out there who are like, I have back pain. I need to go get surgery. I have herniated disc. I had 6 different doctors from some of the best hospitals, if not the best hospitals in the country, telling me you need to fuse your spine. You have herniated discs and blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. If everyone in this room got an MRI, they would all
wrong.
discover
100%.
some level of disc herniation of some sort, and every one of us could get a surgery and it could do absolutely nothing.
Yes.
And what I tell people, I go, think of your back like this building, right? If the lights were off in this room, it wouldn't help me to start patching up the walls.
Yeah.
It's not a structural issue. It's a neurological issue or chemical issue.
Right.
So me screwing with the walls in the room doesn't really help the lighting.
In fact, it could harm.
Yeah. It makes it even worse. So I tell people, like, look into that stuff. Get blood work done. And understand what's going on hormonally and neurologically in your body so that you're not crippling yourself physically.
And there are so many different treatment methods, but you have to know first what's happening. I'm all about that. Eastern, Western, people would assume that I'm not for Western. I'm 100% not that way. Everything in balance.
I will, the last thing I want, I got one surgery that I wish I would have never done, but I had torn my pec back in 2012, 2013. And when I went for the surgery, the doctor, and I don't think he meant to do it. That's why I never made a big deal about it or, tried to sue or anything. But I went in for the surgery right away. He's like, you got to go to surgery. And I waited like a month before I got it. He's like, I'll go through your armpit instead of going through my shoulder, which I should have let him just go through my shoulder. Because he's like, I don't want to leave a scar on your shoulder. I'm like, I remember thinking at the time, I don't give a fuck about a scar on my shoulder. Just put it. I don't give. Goes through my armpit, somehow cut the nerve to my anterior delt. So now I'm not only missing part of my pec, but I'm missing my anterior delt on my left side. Which sucks so much because I see it. Like a lot of people are like, oh, no, you have a great body. But I'm like, I see it. It bothers me.
Right.
But I'm like, because this doctor fucked up because he wanted to, I don't know, put a new engine on his fucking boat or something. Like you could have easily just went through my shoulder or, I watched a video and I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, it's bullshit. I watched a video of Ido Portal. Do you know who he is?
Tell me.
So he's this Israeli kind of like movement specialist.
Okay.
And he had done the same thing, tore his pec doing like ring dips, and that's how I did it. And he put it back together. And I have a buddy of mine who lives out in Long Island. He tore both his pecs.
Oh my God. Yeah. Pretty painful.
And a bicep. And his shoulder looks fucking way better than mine.
What did he do?
He was doing the same shit.
Okay,
like weighted ring dips
note to
or
self,
muscle ups or some shit. Yeah. No, No, I'm
just joking.
Yeah.
X out the ring dips.
No, for
I won't
me,
be doing that at Strength Club. Sorry.
For me, it's like now I know how to balance that stuff.
Of course.
And it helped me kind of teach other people how to
and to be so aware. I will say that because I do treat so many people for so long now, I have an awareness of my body and studying medicine, all the things, and I'm really grateful for this. And I remind myself all the time, but being aware of our body, like truly putting mind-body connection. I don't talk about this often, but it's really like I literally saw someone at the grocery store. This is how, and you know, she was a woman, a little older, and she turned to put a heavy bag into the cart, and like, you know, your body works on levers, you know, and so she just turned the wrong way, and I said something to her, and I was like, you know, because I felt connected, and I was like, I gotta tell you something, like, because I care. No one else ever can tell you this. Well, like, I need you to turn your whole body. It's just a thing, and like put it in. I say this because you said in balance now. Now, when you do the ring dips, you're probably that much more aware of your body. Things happen, but.
No, I feel the same way. I watch people do things, and I'm like, that looks painful.
Not a good idea.
Very uncomfortable. No, but it's taught me a lot about the human body. I've learned through my experiences, and I kind of wear them.
And let it be known, we have like herbal plasters, and I actually have something for you. And like in our medicine that you know, you can try these things first. Or you were talking about your acupuncturist. If you find an acupuncturist who really knows what they're doing, they can absolutely help to, you know,
100%
create more balance and take away a lot of these discomforts,
100%
and weaknesses, and you know.
I think everyone should start. I mean, if there's a doctor out there that's not telling you to move, then I would leave that doctor as soon as you possibly can. It should be the first recommendation to everyone.
Movement is medicine. People have to understand it that way. We touched on that for a moment, but movement is medicine. I was saying no different than we would prescribe, you know, medication that we take internally, whether that's, you know, Western medications or herbal medicine, literally movement. Actually, the ancient in Eastern medicine, they used to prescribe, as I do at this point in whatever year it is, 2025. You go and you do this breath work, you do a couple of these Qigong movements, particularly with mental, you know, health, anxiety, fatigue, depression. You will feel a difference so quickly, just moving.
I know. Like I told you that story before. I've experienced it firsthand many times.
Right.
There have been times in my life I was having a really hard time, and I had some suicidal thoughts, and I had some, you know, I had some thoughts of like, you know, just kind of letting everything go. And, you know, movement was the number one thing. Hold on.
Of course. I like it. Would they like to join our conversation?
No, it's a spam call. It's usually these fucks.
Now they now can turn your phone on and answer it themselves.
It's incredible. It's like, holy shit.
Who's talking? Is someone talking to us? Okay, so tell us a bit about Strong New York. I feel like we could, I want to know.
Strong New York is
once a year, twice a year. No, where is it?
It's once a year.
Okay.
It is my baby.
I know.
I've been working on this this will be year 9. I love going to health and wellness shows, and I love big conventions. I don't know why. I fell in love with it. Maybe as a kid, my dad used to take us to the boat show and the car show, and I was a kid, and I loved going.
I mean, I do the same. I like it too. It's a lot of energy. It can be draining. Let me be the first to say, are you kidding me? It's very draining. Because you're around all that energy, and so
it's very draining.
You can get tired at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's all this new, fun, cool stuff in an industry that I was interested in. Like, I loved cars as a kid. You know, I loved boats. We never owned one, but you know.
Well, you're not supposed to, right? Isn't it like the best day is when you buy the boat, and also it's the day you sell the boat. The second best day is when you sell it. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. You get it. And I know people that this is a cart. I'm like, no, that's not.
Every boat I've ever been on, I'm like, thank God that's not mine.
Exactly. Like, but I'll go on the boat.
I'll hang out on it, but I don't want to take care of it. And even if, you know, one of the best ways I was training a very affluent celebrity. And I said to him, I was like, dude, you don't own a boat? You live on the Jersey Shore. How do you not have a boat? He's like, I had a boat. And I go, yeah, but you're rich enough where you could have somebody else take care of it. He goes, yeah, but I still got to talk to that guy.
And it's like it's nonstop. I literally just watched some close friends go through it. It's like, wow, that's like a serious headache.
It's like, you got to be
I don't even like boats anymore.
Go pull the boat out of the water and, you know, fill it up with gas, all that boat. And you're like, I'm out. I'm out.
So good thing you have Strong New York. It's much better than a boat.
So, but as I gotten older, you know, I was going to Comic-Con. I always go to Comic-Con every year.
In San Diego?
Yeah. Well, I've never been to San Diego. I go to New York every year.
Oh, there's one in New York too. I think
New York's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
I should know that.
The last 3 years, Every time I've tried to just go to the door,
Yeah.
a friend of mine gets me a press pass every year, but
Right.
the last couple of years, I tried to get friends tickets at the door,
Yes.
sold out.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then you probably have like
200
the Star Wars people trying to
250,000 tickets
unbelievable.
sold out. I go, if they could get 250,000 nerds to show up
Smart.
in New York City
Right?
for comic books,
Yeah.
I could get 5,000 people to show up
Absolutely.
for fitness,
I love it.
which we haven't hit that goal yet, but
Oh, it's definitely gonna
2025
happen.
is
No,
gonna,
now's the
hopefully
time.
going to be the year. But what I wanted to do
It will
was
be.
I would go to a lot of fitness events and I go, I like what these guys are doing over here. I like what these guys are doing over here. And I like what these guys are doing over here. And I'd put it all in one place in the greatest city in the world and do that and introduce the New York City market and the people I know and the people I want to educate and help in my city.
Right.
If I can make it influential and viral in New York, then I can make it anywhere. So I started it back in 2015. I was working with Reebok at the time. I was working with a company called Fit Aid. You know, I was very friendly with the people who I worked for. And I was like, yo, I have this great idea. And they loved it. And they were like pushing new products and different things. So it was like a win-win for the brands. It was a win-win for the people coming.
Love that.
And every year we've just upped the ante. And I've had so many people be like,
How many
"Why
years now?
This will be year 9.
9. Okay. Yeah.
And I've had so many people be like, this is a dumb idea. It's not going to work.
That's when you know it's going to work. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
And I just use
Not
that
always,
as fuel. Like I love
Yes.
when people shit on my ideas and things. I go, I know what I like. I know what works. There's very rarely am I confident or like 100% on something where I'm like, I'm going to see this through no matter what. And I
Yes.
think that's when you realize that you have something. Because a lot of people are still trying to figure out what their something is.
Yeah. And the
what their
follow through
purpose
and
is.
that's what
Yeah.
makes you an expert.
So
Right there.
the moral purpose is to influence more people to exercise and live a better life and give them products and people that could help them grow.
Right.
The business side of it is I'm a small business owner. I know how hard it is to get noticed and get in front of the right audience. So for myself and other small business owners,
Yeah.
I could partner them with the big brands like the Adidases and stuff. And even the big brands have initiatives each year.
Right.
We want to build more community. We have a new sneaker we want to launch. We want to infiltrate gyms more. So they all have initiatives too. So I'm like, okay, I can help all these people on one day and do this event and make it a celebration. So there's a fitness component to it. There's a food component to it. There's a music component to it. There's a movement component to it. And I wanted to make it a more family-friendly environment. So we started doing kids classes. We have cold plunges. And it's an introduction to, like, one of the best things I've done for myself in the last 5 years was start doing martial arts again.
Yeah.
My back was bothering me. I couldn't do it. I started doing it during the pandemic. I got back into Muay Thai. I wrestled all through high school and college. I
Right.
loved it. After college, I started doing jiu-jitsu. I stopped doing it because I got into CrossFit. Fucked myself up doing CrossFit. Learned a lot, though, which was good. And when the pandemic hit, I go, well, the only place open in New York is going to be like some fight school.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go there because these guys don't give a shit.
No, they're martial artists. We just
Yeah. So the windows were blacked out, and I'd go in there and I'd do Muay Thai. And my Muay Thai coach, who I'd started jiu-jitsu with 20 years before that, was he was like, why don't you get back into jiu-jitsu? I was like, dude, my back is so banged up. As soon as my back started feeling better, about 3 years ago, after I met my doctor, who's incredible. I love her. And I got on the TRT and I started taking, the thyroid medication and everything.
Yes.
I was like, this is like a second chance at life. That year, I did my first jiu-jitsu tournament in 15 years.
Love that.
I ran the marathon. I did one of those high rocks races. I did a triathlon. I did New York marathon. I mean, fuck, I was doing everything. I felt like I had a second chance at life at 40 years old or 39 years old. So I just dove right back into it. But one of the things that I wanted to show people was like, hey, I got back into jujitsu at 40.
Right.
This is the best thing at any age.
Absolutely.
So I bring in the guys from my school to like do jujitsu classes. And last year I brought in a UFC fighter to teach like striking classes, but like very like introductory level stuff. And most people won't. I mean, it's hard to walk into a regular gym. Imagine walking into like a fight gym.
Yeah.
People are like,
well, I find that's one of the reasons I'm very happy to start teaching what I'll call like kind of the traditional martial arts, especially Qigong, but that's the entrance into, from Qigong, they thought, oh, I should use this. Can I use this for martial ability? That's how martial arts came to be, using the strength that I have in my body, now applying it to take care of somebody else if necessary.
Yeah. And and here's the thing. I feel pretty confident. I know there's a ton of guys out there who could kick the shit out of me. Yeah. But the average person, I feel pretty good against.
Yeah, it's important. I want more women to know this. In fact, even in Qigong, I'll do Qigong, and then somehow some self-defense will come out. Women are like, can you teach this? So who knows? Maybe I'll start teaching this.
If I had,
it's important.
If I have daughters, and I tell my sister with her kids and my brother with his, I'm like, get them into this. Yes. Because at least there are girls in my school that I'm like, if I had to fight her, I don't think it's going to go too well, and I know what I'm doing. So imagine against somebody who doesn't know what they're doing.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I'd like her odds a lot better. Right. If she knows what she's doing.
Absolutely. And there's very simple things that we could teach that would basically shock somebody.
You always resort to your lowest level of skill.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if your lowest level of skill is, hey, I'm a blue belt or a purple belt.
Yeah, it's much better than just running and screaming. Running away.
It's much better than knowing nothing. Yes. So I encourage people. So that the event was to like improve everybody's life on.
When is it, Kenny?
September 27th this year.
Okay.
But we, it's a one-day event. It's very expensive to do here in New York. And last year it was the biggest event that I know of or that anyone's ever told me about. Yeah. We had 3,500 people, at a fitness and wellness event in New York.
That's awesome. So this year, 5,000. You'll do it.
Yeah.
100%.
That's the goal.
It's going to happen. And so, okay, tell us quickly also about your podcast.
So I started the podcast last year. I used to, when I was on MTV and stuff, I got pretty lucky. I mean, I had just told a bunch of the producers and stuff. I was like, hey, I started taking hosting classes, and I was going to UCB at the time, which was an improv school. And I wanted to work on hosting skills and doing that. And I was like, if you guys have any work, I'll do it for free. Yeah. This was 2006, 2007. Yeah. And they were like, hey, we got this little show. Do you want to host it? I was like, yeah, done. And I was doing a ton of stuff. And then they started paying me for it. Right. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And I got to do a lot of cool shit I hosted the Jersey Shore show because I was from New Jersey. And they were like, oh, this is an easy fit. Yes. We'll have him do it. And then I started doing some stuff with Comic-Con because they're like, well, he's there anyway, so let's just pay him and have him host it. And it's like, I got to interview Adam West, who I grew up with, was Batman, and Stan Lee, who,
he's in San Diego. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to do a lot of really cool stuff. I was a huge fan of The Walking Dead, and I got to interview those guys. Yes. So I had a lot of cool experiences. So I was like, okay, I could tie all this together. There are a lot of people that I'm fans of. I like fangirl over fitness people. And
understood.
I love that world. Like I truly enjoy it. Regular celebrities, I really don't follow it as much.
I hear you.
It doesn't impress me. Like I love anybody with any like special talent or skill.
Yeah, of course. To bring something good into our world.
For sure.
Necessary.
Music and acting. Like, I mean, there are some people who are just very powerful when it comes to that. Yeah. But it's just not my world. Yeah. But somebody like Joe Rogan, a lot of the stuff that he does, I align with. Like, he's super into martial arts, and he's, he loves comedy. Like, a lot of the stuff, I'm like, oh, wow, that'd be cool to meet him.
Yeah, of course.
So doing the podcast, I've gotten to interview, like I just had Mike Isertel on, who I'm a big fan of, who I actually had come teach a course at my gym 2 years ago. Who I love him. I love his stuff. I'll sit up at night and watch his YouTube videos. Right. I love Chris Bumstead, who's a big bodybuilder. Like, I get more excited about those people than I would a real celebrity.
Understood. I mean, that's why I started The Experts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it really interests, like, what is your path? How did
Yeah.
you get here? How do you balance everything? Which, by the way, is going to be our closing question. I'm being nice and giving it to you. But like being an expert, what does that mean? And then you get to be on this end,
Yeah.
not the other end.
Yeah.
Hearing and learning and yeah.
I think it's, if I'm going to spend my money doing something, I could build my business and do something
Yeah.
I enjoy at the same time. And that's kind of how I built my career. It's almost been 20 years that
Yeah.
I've gotten to be in a gym. You know, when I first made the leap from having a regular job to the fitness industry, it was probably one of the scariest things I ever had to do, because you're like, I'm no longer going to get a paycheck. And now I'm
Absolutely.
responsible for creating my own paycheck.
Oh, yes. It's called being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It was
And-
my thing too. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to build a lab.
Well, I never
what?
set out to be an entrepreneur. I didn't even know
Okay.
what the fuck it was.
I mean, quite frankly, I don't think I did either. Like, I want to be an entrepreneur. No, I did not do
no,
that.
I didn't know what it
No.
was. But I remember saying,
I was
as
like,
a-
I have $15,000. I have to make this work. Otherwise, otherwise we're in serious
yeah,
trouble.
you can't do much with 15
So we're going to
grand.
manufacture products,
Yeah.
and then you just do it
Yeah. And
one
it's,
foot at a time.
I think when your back's up against the wall, you'll be surprised.
Of course.
Anybody, what anybody could do.
Yes, but you need the follow through. You need the self discipline.
Mm-hmm.
You need to care.
100%.
And then, yeah, maybe it's a 40 thing. Like, I'm the only woman who like runs around talking about my age because I couldn't wait to be 40. It's odd, but it's true. Because I kept telling myself, like, when I'm 40.
I was
And now-
scared. I was scared of that too. I looked.
Yeah.
I remember being at one of my first jobs. I was working at the Newark shipping yards, like the seaport, Newark Seaport, and I was sitting there with a bunch of guys.
Having like a race.
No, all
Or
good.
not.
It's New York City. So I was sitting there with a bunch of guys, and this one guy's like, I just turned 40. He was like fat and smoking and out of shape and bald. And I'm like, oh my God, I fucking hope that's not what 40 looks like for me.
No, never.
Yeah, and then I got it.
Well, like, I say that to myself. I'm
Yeah.
not saying never. Like, to me, no. When I'm 40, I'm going to be like the best ever. And then when I'm 50, I'm going to be even better than ever.
Yeah, like if you could get to 40
Yeah.
and look pretty good,
Yeah.
then 50 and 60 are going to be great too, because
Yeah.
you've already done a lot of the hard shit.
Absolutely. And like people, I always wanted to be older so people would take me more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd be in the beauty business making products and we'd be sitting down with, some important people. And like people would think I was 12. And I'm like, I'm not 12. I'm 20 something. I'm also like come from this lineage. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think yes, there's some level of wisdom that you need to
course.
have to be an authority figure.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, yeah, you have to have lived long enough to experience a lot of life.
Right.
And I think, 40 is like a good point where you're like, okay, I'm established. I know what I know what I like. I
Well,
know
we
what
better
I
have some
want.
idea. As far as I'm concerned, I'm much more traditional and kind of can be a little hardcore about the way I look at things. So I don't mean to put this on anyone else. But yeah, like people will be like, oh, Janelle, you look, whatever for your age. Like, well, I better be. I'm like, I'm literally an expert in the beauty and wellness industry. Like, I don't know.
That's
how else
all
to-
we do.
It's
We
called
better,
my
yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay, people. I can't be telling you to do something, and I practice what I
say
preach.
I say that all the time. I'm never going to tell you to run a race I've
Yeah.
never ran.
Yeah.
I'm never going to tell you to lift some weight I've never lifted. I'm such an advocate. Never when people tell me, oh, I'm going to coach somebody through a marathon, I'm like, you've never ran one.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you know?
Yeah,
what-
I'm big on that too.
right? Like, that's weird. Like when somebody's like, oh, could you help me do a bodybuilding show? I'm like, no, I've never done one.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know anything about
Yeah.
it. I could help you find
Hence
somebody
the
who does it.
experts. You find
Yeah.
the experts. You go to the source.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm like, I know plenty of guys who do it, but
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the first fucking thing
I
about
love
it.
that. It's authentic, and that's okay. It's when you're actually secure in yourself.
Yeah.
We always have to keep growing. I mean, hello, Confucius. Yeah, like you never ever. The wisest person never thinks they know.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's good to know what you know, and when you're secure in that, we have no problem being like, listen, I can help you in all these ways, but you need to go
Yeah.
over there because that's just not even my.
I can teach you 100 things in the gym. That's one of the few things I've never done before.
Yeah.
You know, I understand it, but I wouldn't teach it. Same thing with like boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu. I'm like, I'm not at the point where I think I'm a teacher of it.
Yeah.
Like I'd eventually like to do it as I get older.
Right.
I'm like, okay, that'll be the next evolution of what my gym looks like. I could have a martial arts studio
Yeah.
and a gym.
Or in
But
the
I-
gym,
yeah.
putting it together.
But I've done it, and it was only to fuck around. I've never studied it to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm going to go have a fight or something. Like I know guys who are,
yeah.
who have 50, 60 fights.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know a lot more about fighting than I do.
But you have your rule. I love that.
I'd go to them. Don't go to, don't come to me.
Understood.
So.
Okay. I can't believe time flies by when you're having fun.
Yeah, wow, that's quick.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Where can people find you, Kenny?
At Kenny Santucci. Pretty easy to find. I'm trying to blow up my YouTube page, so like, subscribe, check that out. Strong New York YouTube page. I'm in Strong New York in the Strength Club. So the Strength Club, there's one here in Midtown on 28th and 5th, and then we have another one in Caldwell, New Jersey. Hopefully a couple more.
You can work out with Kenny's family.
Yeah, yes, you can. Partner with my mom, you won't get anything done. She just bullshit with you the whole time. And then, Strong New York on September 27th. We're trying to get 5,000 people to the Glass House on 48th and 12th Avenue.
Yeah.
Should be a good time. There's everything from running to dance classes to jiu-jitsu and weightlifting. And this year we're doing a big competition.
Okay.
We've been doing it the last couple of years, but now it's really taken shape. And I'm actually very excited because the guy who created Comic-Con is kind of advising me on it.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah.
So I'm very excited to announce that coming up very soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
he knows
so
his
exciting.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. He knows
See, now
he's
you'll
doing.
have 250,000. You won't have to worry about 5,000.
So. God, that'd be great.
It'll happen. It'll happen. Grateful for you and all that you do.
Thank
Certainly,
you so much.
We understand why you are on The Experts. You are an expert in all the ways, and very authentically so, which is my favorite thing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.